Hi Year 3, hope you're all okay. You've joined me this week for our writing lesson. So let's begin. This is our starter. We have 4 sentences and each sentence has a word missing. Let's see if we can be word detectives and use our good reading knowledge to work out what the missing word should be. Let's read the first one together. Are you ready? I've got my pointer stick. Iggy to light the fire. What could that missing word be? Let's try the second one. Hubba caught a that was swimming past. Try the third one. Iggy was had a drink from the river. And our last sentence. Hubba saw a something in the forest. Now you'll notice where we have our missing words, we've also got our sound buttons, so they might give us a clue as well to help us with our spelling of the words. Thinking about this one then, number 2, Hubba caught a something that was swimming past. Now I know that I can see that it's got the determiner a before my object, my noun. So I know that my noun is going to begin with a consonant. If my noun began with a vowel, it would have the determiner an here. I can also use my good thinking and good detective skills because something was swimming past. If I think about nouns that are swimming past, I'm going to ask you to pause the video and see if you can work out the missing words from our sentences. How did you get on? Let's have a look together. Let's read the first one again. Iggy tried to light the fire. Your missing word was tried. Tried. What's the root word of tried? That's right, try. But we've added our past tense suffix on the end and we've had to change and take off the Y and add an I instead. Let's look at the second one. Hubba caught a fish that was swimming past. The clue here was that there was something that was swimming, and we know that fish swim, and we can see the sh digraph on the end of our word. Let's look at the third one. Iggy was thirsty, so had a drink from the river. Again, if you were having a drink, then we know that we must be thirsty. It gave us that clue. And our last one. Hubba saw a snake in the forest. It was snake, and we've got our split digraph here to make our long A sound. I'm going to put a pink for think around these here, the digraph and the phoneme. Often we can get those a little bit muddled, so I'm going to give you a little tip to help you. Our word is thirsty. Can you say that word? Thirsty. When we say the digraph, you'll notice that your teeth, your front teeth, sit on your tongue and you stick your tongue out slightly. Thirsty. When we do our F phoneme, you'll notice that our top teeth sit on our bottom lip, not our tongue. Fish. Fish. Thirsty. That's a way to help us work out which letters we need when we're writing our words. By saying the word aloud, we can hear and we can feel where our front teeth are sitting in our mouth. If they're sitting on our tongue, then it's with our TH. And if they're sitting on our lip, it's for our F. Let's move on to the next part of our lesson. Right then, Year 3, this is our lesson today and our learning objective is to edit work accurately. The word accurately is really important. We're really going to make our work the best it can be. So we're going to start with a checkpoint. This is your sentence that I'd like you to have a read through, and I'd like you to think about what mistakes you can spot and what you need to change. Let's read it together. Iggy wanted to go hunting to improve his throwing skills. Ooh. I can see a question mark at the end. Straight away I'm not thinking that's a question. That might be something that you need to change. I'd like you to pause the video in a minute and have a go at your check. How did you get on? Let's have a look together. Right, first of all, what are we missing? That capital letter, you're right. Not just because it's the start of the sentence, but also because it's the name of our character. You'll know if you've been enjoying Oi Cave Boy, our class text, that Iggy is the main character in our story. So, Iggy, capital letter. I've got my purple pen and I'm making my edits with my purple pen. Iggy wanted. Does that look right? No, it's not an O, it's an A. I'm going to write the word correctly above. Wanted to go. That's right. Go should just be G-O. Wanted to go hunting to improve. I've stopped an improve. That's right, it's missing the E on the end. To improve his throwing skills. That doesn't sound right, does it? Let's say the word properly. Throwing. Throwing. Once again, our teeth, our front teeth, are on our tongue, which shows us that it's the TH digraph. I'm going to make that with my purple pen. Let's read our sentence all together. Are you ready? Let's use our noisy punctuation. Iggy wanted to go hunting to improve his throwing skills. There's a question mark here. Is it a question? No, it's just a full stop, so we need to change our punctuation at the end. If it's a question, we often hear our voice rise at the end of a question. Where are you going? What time is it? Our voice naturally rises, so that gives us a clue when we need to use a question mark as well. But in this case, it's just a sentence that doesn't need one. Right, let's move on to the next part. Right then, year 3, it's my turn. So what I've done is I've put our marking code up here to use to help today. So if you see a square with a capital A in, we know that I'm missing a capital letter. If we see a triangle, then we know that we're missing a piece of punctuation. If we see a wiggly underline, we know there's a spelling error. If we see a little arrow pointing up, then there's a missing word. And if we see a word that has been circled, then that means that we need to up-level that word and think of a better word to use in our sentence. So this is mine. What I've done is I'm pretending I'm Iggy, and I've used Mr. Buddy's work from the diary entries to write my own paragraph of a diary entry. This is mine. I'm going to read it aloud first because that's the important first step when we're editing. We read our work. I'm going to read with my noisy punctuation to make sure I'm happy with what I've done so far. In the middle of the forest, I stood with my spear waiting for the deer to run past. I was nervous, sweaty and worried I would miss this fast animal when it ran past. I gripped my spear tightly. I've got some full stops and capital letters, but I think I'm missing some other punctuation. I know I'm missing it because when I've read it aloud, I naturally take a breath, which tells me that I need to add something in. Right, let's try again. In the middle of the forest, it's a fronted adverbial. It's a fronted adverbial of, is it a place, manner or time? Place, that's right, because it's the middle of the forest. I'm going to put my comma here. In the middle of the forest, I stood with my spear waiting for the deer to run past. The sentence is nice, but I stood how? I know I can add a little bit more description, so I'm going to do a little arrow up. I stood quietly, because if you're waiting for that deer, you can't make a lot of noise. So I'm going to improve my writing by adding an adverb here. Quietly with my, that's not spear, that's spur. Right, spear, ear. It's got an ear in it, so I know how to spell that. Spear. When I cross out my word, I'm going to make sure I cross it out with my ruler so that my presentation, although I'm editing, is still neat. Waiting for the deer to run past. Waiting. I've used the AY digraph here. Is that correct? No, it should be AI, so I will change that up here. Waiting for the deer to run past. Deer. Now I know that is how to spell deer as if you're writing a letter to somebody, but that's not the deer spelling for an animal, so I'm going to wiggly underline it because I know I spelled it incorrectly and I'm going to change it. Ear. And I have my sound buttons to check. There we go. To run past. Now I've ended my sentence with a full stop, so I must know if I've got a full stop. I start with a capital letter. Oh, I haven't. I was nervous, sweaty and worried I would miss this fast animal when it ran past. Let me read it again. I was nervous, sweaty and worried I would miss this fast animal when it ran past. Now I noticed that I naturally took a breath after nervous. That means I need to put a comma in there. If you look carefully, I've used a list sentence. I was nervous, sweaty and worried. I've listed 3 things, so I need my comma because I also have my and to separate. I was nervous, sweaty and worried I would missed off the S, 2 S's, this fast animal when it ran past. Fast. Well, the animal is, a deer is fast, but I actually am going to circle that. I think I can find a better word than fast. Let me think. I could use hasty animal. I could use the word speedy animal. I could use the word quick animal. I'm going to think about that one. It might be that I go to a thesaurus and I look for a synonym. So I'm going to have a think, come back to it. I've circled it so I know that I'm going to come back. When it ran past, I gripped my spear tightly. Right, I'm going to read it as a whole paragraph now because it might be that I will still want to make some changes. In the middle of the forest, I stood quietly with my spear, waiting for the deer to run past. I was nervous, sweaty and worried I would miss this fast animal when it ran past. I gripped my spear tightly. Do you know what I've noticed? In reading it all together, I've repeated the word past. I've put to run past, waiting it when it ran past. And actually I just don't like it, so I'm going to change it. So I'm going to add maybe a little bit more description. When it ran on the path through the forest. I've used the word forest, I might say the trees. Through the lush trees, lush green trees. I can add an expanded noun phrase. When it ran, I'm going to add my little arrow to say I'm adding a little bit. Through the lush green trees. Still got my full stop. Right then, I'm going to have a think now. I'm going to go and find my thesaurus. Do you think you can have a go at you finding another word for fast? Can you tell someone at home your word? Let's see if we come up with the same word. I'll see you in a few minutes. Right then, I've just finished looking through my thesaurus to find a synonym for the word fast, and I found the word swift. Okay, so it means the same as fast, but actually I think it sounds better. Swift, swift. Let's look at our steps to success. Read your work carefully in order to edit your capital letters, punctuation, check your spelling, and also to edit to add greater detail. If you're Chili 1 or Chili 2 today, I'd like you to check through a piece of writing that I'm going to give you. Chili 1, I would like you to look for capital letters and full stops and correct the spelling. Chili 2, I'd like you to look for commas and to look to add greater detail as well as up-level 2 of the words I found. There are also some other spelling errors that you will need to correct. Go and look carefully. If you're Chili 3 today, I'd like you to edit a piece of your own writing. When you've edited it, write it up neatly as a second draft. This is how I've edited Chili 1 and Chili 2 work. Check yours now. I hope today, Year 3, you've realised the big picture. Editing writing is really important, especially for authors. So make sure you check out the author Alan MacDonald with our class text, Oi Cave Boy. See you soon. Bye.